back for more all new, all different X-Men talk time. That's right, it's Tuesday. The Omni X-Men are here. That means me and Justin of KnowGood Comics.
Woohoo! What's up, John? Yeah, man. Tuesday, the week flew by, man. And I don't know, it's just the weeks have been flying by, but every time Tuesday comes around, we're back and excited to break this issue down. 96 definitely has some key parts to it. So, you know,
it was a wild ride, and I'm totally excited to get into this.
Definitely a wild ride for sure.
I feel like I forgot how funny some of the like stuff they did in these early issues is, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, if this is your first time jumping in and hanging out with us, this is an ongoing series where we, Justin and I, are diving into our first omnibus, and it happens to be the Claremont Volume 1, starting with Giant Size X-Men and rolling all the way through issue 131, I believe.
Yep.
So about 40 issues of X-Men, from X-Men all the way through all new, all different, and into ultimately the Uncanny run. So each week we've been breaking one down, back and forth. He's got the odd numbers, I got the evens, and we are here doing issue 96, which was a hot book for a bit last year when House of X and Powers of 10 came along, and they sort of retconned Moira. What were your feelings on the reveal of Moira X?
So being that I was a little behind on some of the newer books, I wasn't on buying this book, when the hype was like hitting, which is probably good because by the time I got this issue, which is a 6.0, not bad, it's a UK pence edition. It's the price went down, a lot more than what it was, I guess, at that time. So it kind of worked out. But yeah, I found out months later. So I was definitely like behind the ball. Like, what? Had no idea what.
That was easily one of my favorite parts of the Hickman like launch, was the idea that they could take a character and make her not only significant in a new way, but like just reinvent her in a way that seemed to totally fit the universe for me. So I was very pleased with that idea.
Big time. I mean, it kind of makes you think now rereading this stuff, and even any other issues that she's in, it's going to kind of be in the back of your head of like, wait, so this whole time,
right.
I'm curious how that all plays out.
So I'm going to say a quick hello to the chat. Then we'll get into the format of what you can expect watching these shows, and then we'll roll. We got Mr. Ruben Guzman, who I was talking with today. He beat me to the LCS and was already rifling through the boxes when I got there.
Nice.
We both were commenting on some of the hot new books for the week, and we both were snagging the new Boom Studios book that's dropping this week. So I hope to read that tonight and get some good reading in.
Nice.
I also was talking to Justin before we went live about 10 of Swords, and I'm very excited to be reading that. I'm about halfway, 2/3 of the way through that one. So,
yeah.
And all right, losers. Yeah, as always, issues, you're going to mess things up. We're excited about that. Beta Ray Jim, scorecard leader, right just a little bit ahead of issues here. Very excited about this. Mankind has always feared what it doesn't understand. Help us understand. We'll do our best. TJ the Slab Dragon, big Uncanny X-Men fan. Glad to see you here, friend. Nazira R, thank you for coming by.
Hello.
Ryan from New Guy Comics, hello to you. Totally not up on X-Men. You don't have to be. That's the fun of this. We're gonna bring you through it, my man. We're gonna break this issue down. This is not anything new. There is no need to hide spoilers. This is just a fun way for you to look back and say, really? They did that? This is when that happens? Those kind of moments is kind of fun to join us. Yes, I busted out a couple of fun books for tonight. I got some New Mutants up here in the back. Where is it? Up there in the back. I got some. I'm reading that 10 of Swords. Archangel, my favorite iteration of Angel, plays a part in that, and so it's fun to have his first appearance. And then, of course, got to have some little Beta Ray there for Beta Ray Jim.
Nice. Very nice.
Guzman saying hello to everybody. I too know 10 S words. Hello. Comedy Comedy. That's something like what is it in Arrested Development when their ship is called the C Word, but it's originally SEAWARD, C Word. They're going out into the ocean, not the C Word. Later they renamed the boat and it actually is C and Word. There you go. Classic stuff. Hello, Jackson Roy Kirk, also on our list of scorecard members. So very excited about that. I don't cross swords. Yeah, don't cross swords. Don't cross the streams either. I hear both of those things are bad. So what are we talking about scorecard? Well, we plan some giveaways as we get deep into the omnibus. We're just getting started here, but we're keeping a scorecard because every night we end with trivia based on last week's episode. So if you watched, if you hung out, if you were the guest, could benefit you. You can definitely try to answer some of the questions. We'll ask 4 trivia questions. If you answer if you're the first to answer correctly, you're going in the raffle for Justin's giveaway. He's giving away Omnibus Volume 2. That's a legit prize. I'm giving away a lesser prize, but still a lot of fun. I'm keeping an overall tally. First place answerer gets 2 points. Second place answerer still gets a point on the scorecard. I'm keeping a tally going here. Whoever finishes in first place, you're getting a mystery box from me. We haven't really discussed this concept, but I was wondering, Justin, if somebody wins the raffle, should they be eliminated from my giveaway and we go to the second place person?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I mean, I feel like you draw your name first and that winner is pulled off. If they are number 1 on the scorecard, we go to the number 2. No double winner.
I like that. It's fair. I think it's
that was my personal feeling. Then at least we get 2 winners from the chat here.
Yeah,
spread the love. Plus, if the person who comes in first place doesn't get their name pulled from the drawing, they should at least be honored for winning all the trivia as much as they did.
Agreed.
So that's something I was thinking over.
Yep, I like it.
So there's Azores is here. Thank you for coming by, Azores.
Hey, Azores Tiger, what's up, brother?
That LCS looks totally familiar, actually, to me. That might be in my neck of the wood there. That looks like Comics, Tunes, and Toys, which is an LCS about 20, 30 minutes from me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's close. Yeah, he's on the West Coast. I know that.
If that's Comics TNT, then definitely nearby me. Jackson Roy Kirk said, hello. Trivia is so stressful. I know, but it's fun. It should be a lot of fun. I sweat in the most uncomfortable. Okay, you're really getting into it. All right, so let's get into this issue.
Yes.
This is issue 96. The previous issue had a huge death. We lost a significant character. One of this new X-Men team died. Legit done. Not coming back. No Krakoa resurrection. This issue seems to be dealing largely with some of the aftermath of that at the beginning. And then it goes a little buck wild in part 2 here. If you were to score this one off the bat, what are you thinking grade wise? Out of 10, what would you give this?
So maybe I'll be a little harsher on this one than the past because I know I've been giving 10s out like they're nothing. So this I'm gonna bring it down to like maybe a 7.5. Mainly because the plot, I just felt like to some degree with the storyline, it was like them just like, oh, crap, we have nothing prepared. Let's just throw this together and go with it. Like I felt like that was kind of how the main plot of the story went. The beginning was great, as you're saying, like it kind of touches on the last issue, and which you would think really weighs heavily throughout the next couple issues.
Right.
But it kind of goes on this like, hard left turn out of nowhere.
Right.
Leaving Cyclops crashing through the living room and everybody not.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I feel like they clearly had a story for issues 94 and 95.
Right.
Knowing what's coming ahead, they clearly have a story for 97, 98, 99. There's a lot of the Sentinel. We're working into a Sentinel story arc later. This feels like a gap filler. Like they're kind of trying to fill a gap here. It's its own story. There's little hints of things on either end, a little connective tissue, but it's really its own story with this unusual beast and not a lot of explanation as to what this thing is, where it came from, and why.
Right. Which is kind of still common to that time period, right? Around the 70s, I guess, I feel like that's where they started to really connect issues with other issues.
Right.
A lot more leading into the next one. So this was still borderline to that. So I could see there was some somewhat still in that time zone of like randomly coming up with, filler issues from time to time, which, yeah, it's understandable. It wasn't like the worst. And again, I'm giving it a 7. So,
right. And so my grade, I'd probably be about an 8. There was certainly a lot to enjoy. And if you can hold on for the roller coaster ride of it, I enjoyed it a bunch. Chet, thank you for coming by, buddy. He was our guest last time. He was awesome. And he's definitely going to be guesting again soon. So you can expect more from him.
Yeah.
Sweet. Azores, we definitely, when I'm feeling ready to hit LCSs outside of my own area, that's definitely one of the ones I want to hit. So we'll have to schedule something, man.
Nice.
The Wizard likes. All right. Wizards, always good. 8.5 from Chet. Yeah, let us know if you've read this issue, what you think. I'd say, yeah, somewhere in that 8 range for me. I'm a big issue 95 fan, and this was definitely a step down significantly for me between that. A lot of still some good stuff, but yeah, there was definitely a okay, we got to stretch the story a little bit here and get into the next thing. And I do respect the idea, at least, of taking a moment to like let the heroes mourn for an issue.
Yeah,
but that definitely did not last very long. This definitely like hard right turned into something different. Very much
so. Yeah. So, I mean, the one thing that Chet said in the chat before is that there definitely, is a key element to this that we discover down the road, which is what we were referring to earlier. So I think that also helps it. I think it's really just the plot that kind of gets me and just the randomness of it. But yeah, definitely some big things happen within it.
Yeah. So this, if you haven't seen the issue before, this is that the cover here with this crazy, one-eyed beast. And we'll have to like get into a little bit about this thing and what's going on with that.
Yeah.
So let's should I pop up the slideshow here and we can get rolling?
Yeah, sure. And I just want to say too, this is for Chet, just to show him that I got this is graded. Did not open this bad boy. Actually had it purchased it like this. So using my technology to read any of these issues. So he'll be very happy to hear that.
Yep, TJ said exactly how I felt buying it off the rack. Filler issue. Disappointed with the cover, but the cover's grown on him. There you go.
Definitely.
The lack of animin in this issue upsets me.
Yep.
I totally agree. Hey, that's giving you a bravo. That's always good.
Nice.
When Darth Vader confronts Captain Kirk on the helicarrier. Classic. All right, so let's pop this bad boy up here. Let's rock and roll a little bit here. Yeah, so all new, all different. We haven't officially become Uncanny at this point. Still in these early 90s, we're rolling as the all new, all different. But let's talk a little bit about this thing.
Yeah.
Who or what is this creature? I love the first page. This carving on the rock behind Cyclops. Definitely what he's thinking about. At first, I thought, is this like they made some really crazy headstone for Warpath here, but no, it's not what that is.
Right.
Instead, it's just something he's thinking about. He's stressing. Cyclops is in a stressful state. Some drama in the forest, and then he blasts a whole section of the woods away, and out of anger and sadness and frustration, and apparently strikes this obelisk with unusual runes and like pink light and smoke coming out of it. And I included, this is like one of the last panels that I included next to it here. After all the fighting with this creature, Xavier basically says what the writer wants us to know. I don't think we'll ever know for sure. But whatever Kurak and his kind were, they once ruled mankind, and they want very much to rule mankind again. And that's it. It's sort of just like, we can't ask these questions. They're evil, and maybe the writer will bring them back again someday. We'll get to it.
That's exactly it. That was like where I'm just like questioning, like, what? Like that's how they're finishing that off. Like,
so the two panels that are in the middle and then the far right are basically like the beginning of this creature and the we'll just never know.
Yes, yeah. So this was that middle panel, or I guess even the ones leading up to that are kind of the ones I to some degree missed when kind of first reading this through. Now that I've gone through it again, I was telling you before, I picked up some things that I didn't catch the first time around. And I remember just I mean, it still comes out of left hook, you know, with this creature, but even more so the first time when I read it, I really didn't understand. I didn't see that part, or I don't know. I didn't like comprehend that part. That, you know, it was Cyclops who destroyed this temple looking thing that released this thing. I like kind of missed that. I just saw that Cyclops burned out, you know, the forest and just saw a bunch of smoke and kind of kept reading quickly.
And it instantly makes you wonder, because he's clearly on the land in and around the mansion in some way. Like, he's not like on another planet or anything.
Right.
What is this obelisk doing in upstate New York near the X-Mansion? I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, you think Xavier would be aware of that thing if it was like on his property or
psychically, right? This guy has mental powers to connect with creatures in and around him.
Yeah.
It's not like he's searching for a mutant in Zimbabwe. This is like in your neighborhood, this being, you know, I don't know. I found it a little hilarious that Xavier has no clue about this thing, and it's like basically on his property, I guess you could say.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, the real estate person must have, you know, had some information about it when he was.
Yeah, this is,
you know,
just like, now, right?
Like, by the way, what's that temple thing over there? Oh, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. Just don't blast it with anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Shush. Don't worry about it. Hello, Life with Two YouTubers. Thank you for coming by. The squirrel is ready to pounce on sight. Yeah, the squirrel is trying to defend the obelisk, clearly.
That could have been the villain right there, the squirrel.
Right? Everything is usually Cyclops' fault. Yes, right? This is fair. This is fair. This book has a D&D feel with the obelisk and demon. There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so for me, I just found that very entertaining. So here's the creature, and this was one of the panels that Justin really wanted to show. And yeah, so his name, if you can't read his writing there, is Kirok, the Shatterer of Souls, the Slayer of Men, and the Damned. He's got lots of titles. And there he is bursting in on the X-Men, just sort of speaking. He monologues like right off the bat with like 4 solid word bubbles there.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, Xavier doesn't know what this thing is, where it really came from. It just sort of manifests itself astrally or spiritually out of the obelisk and then lays in on the mansion and our new team.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised that it knew English. I don't know. It just like came in, you know, and just started speaking very fluently with them and just explaining himself. I don't know. I just kind of pictured it would be more messier of a language to speak, you know. So that was a thing. But I did like this. What I liked about this panel, I mean, obviously it's introducing, you know, the villain of the issue. What I thought was cool about it too was, again, going back to you know, the digital talk of reading comics digitally. It was really cool to, you know, as you're swiping, you out of nowhere just get hit with this big you know, image of the creature. So that was pretty cool. You know, he's like just like hanging over the team, and they're all like kind of scrambling, figuring out what they got to do to stop this, you know, English speaking monster. But
look, yeah, you have the bad guy from Ghostbusters 2, Vigo, Scourge of Carpathia, Sorrow of Moldavia. Oh, that would have been a good cover. I agree. I don't know why he's green on the cover of this and purple in the book, but you know, hey, maybe the reader's colorblind, and we can blame it on that. Yeah, so there he is, just sort of laying into it. And I love, the comment that he should have been in English is hilarious, because the obelisk clearly is in all sorts of runes and other languages.
Right.
But there he is.
Yep. I don't know. It just stood out to me.
Also a nice little Storm booty shot there. And Colossus, too, let's just be honest.
Yep.
A little something for everybody. I thought Storm was the MVP of this issue. And some of my favorite panels are involving her, including the set of 5 right above the words I wrote there. 4 of them are sort of like the battling with this spirit. You know, Xavier sends her, when Xavier gets a sense that it's coming from this obelisk, he sends Storm to go take care of it. She flies off, and then she's attacked by spirits in a weird kind of way, and she sees sort of flashes to her youth and being buried alive and all of these things. And then you see that look on her face where she's kind of like screaming in horror. She's reliving the the being buried sort of elements. I know that for those that are big fans of Storm, we know that claustrophobia is a thing that she battles with repeatedly. And I love this sort of series of 4 panels where you get to see jumping in time what's going through Storm's mind. And though even the way they drew the panels, the ones that are in the present are rectangular. The ones in the past have this sort of oval, almost like Egyptian window shape. And I thought that was a really cool way to design some of that. PTSD in the middle of an important encounter. Hey, you don't know when this is going to happen. Clearly, the spirits are working on her. As you can see on the far right, there's that sort of weasel-looking thing over her shoulder in the smoke. But I did think she was had a cool story in this.
Definitely. I mean, and as you're saying, with these 4 panels specifically, I do think they do a really good job. And I think that's what I like. So one of the things I like so much about Claremont, and especially working with Dave Cockrum throughout the series, I feel like they have a lot of these little panels that just like really tell the story in such a simple yet detailed way, all within 4 panels, the size that they are. You really get that hint. I feel like they didn't do as good of a job with the beginning part as we were talking about with Cyclops kind of, knocking off this, releasing the demon. That I kind of missed, but something like this, I don't know. I thought, this was done very well, I think.
And I remember reading this in a classic X-Men issue and feeling like that's cool. She's cool. Like she is cool. The way she kind of overcomes her fear in the moment and rises to the occasion. And I think the next slide I've even got her because she saves everybody. Yeah. She's the one that has to, you see her fighting the obelisk and blowing it up with her lightning basically. And then as she does, the beast sort of, I don't know, turns to pink ash or whatever, just kind of like vanishes. You see the AAA in the creature's wail sort of fading out into the creature in the ash as it vanishes. I thought it was a cool little stylistic element. But she's the winner. She's the one that, like, without her, they're gonna get killed by this beast.
No, and I love that panel right there. Just the design, it kind of reminds me of like the Phoenix Rising kind of thing. You know, it's kind of like foreshadowing.
Yeah, even the shape of her above in the light above there.
Yeah. So I just thought that in itself, and again, going from the perspective of reading digitally, it definitely hits you. Just takes up your whole screen. Looks really cool.
Yeah. So shout out to Storm for flying away from the fight and then dealing with the source of the problem straight up and capping the obelisk to keep the beast at bay.
Yep.
So as always, I try to pick who's the biggest douche of the comic this week, and you mentioned Cyclops and his wandering and thinking. It almost, the hilarity of the moment was like the narrator basically saying, "Cyclops is trying to get over it, but can you? Can't hit." Like the narrator is egging Cyclops on.
Yeah.
Right? Can you do this, Cyclops? Can you? Can you? And then Cyclops screams, "No!" And then he blasts this whole section of forest, including the obelisk. Right?
Yeah.
Very, very douchey move, destroying nature in his frustration.
Yeah.
Underneath that, I chose a panel where Nightcrawler very uncharacteristically kind of like laughs at like legit stands over and laughs at Wolverine, who says, "Hey, that's so funny. I'm gonna shut you up." They both have a little bit of a douchey moment.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, but like this guy, I'm voting Dr. Lang as the douche of this issue. Just look at the guy. He is a legit psycho. It's not Captain America. It's Captain Psycho or whatever. I don't know this doctor. I don't even think he gets a first name in this. I think
Stephen, right? They gave it Stephen.
Okay. I remember that they just called him Dr. Lang a bunch, but when I researched, I found that he's, obviously important later on. But look at him. He's like, "That's what my work is all about, Michael. Project Armageddon. The final ultimate conflict between Homo sapiens and Homo superior, between man and mutant." He's just talking to one guy who just got off a helicopter.
Yeah.
There's no. I almost feel like the other guy should have been like, "What's going on? Like, why are you talking to me like this?
Can I get a glass of water first? Can I sit down first?"
Right? Why do you have crazy yellow light shining off of your head in these two? Chill, man. Like, take a deep breath.
I'm right next to you.
Yeah, so this guy's in like 3 pages in the whole book, but every one is basically him doing this.
Yeah, he's just, angrier and angrier throughout those few clips.
So this guy slayed me, and I was just like, wow, I had forgotten what a D-bag this guy was. So I voted him. I know it looks like the chat disagrees. I hope you're all enjoying the who is the douche of the week kind of thing here. Because we got, where is it? 90% of the time, Cyclops is the douche. There you go. And then issues say that's generous. He's the douche archetype. Usually people are saying, where is it? There's a lot of Xavier. And you could blame Xavier for living next to an obelisk and not warning any of his mutants that this thing had evil powers. Classic douche move.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he should be on here.
So there were honestly so many moments that could have qualified, but something about that screaming Dr. Lang face just did it for me. All right, so you want to talk a little about Wolverine getting to cut loose, because I feel like Wolverine had a great issue.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad that you grabbed these here, especially. I mean, he was really going at it. What was that one say?
Which one? The first, second? What do you want?
Just on the last one.
He says 10 years of psycho training, a hypnosis, a drug therapy, 10 years of praying, and I cut it to him to pieces without a thought.
Oh, yeah.
He's having regret. He's having the violent regret.
Yeah. I like that he takes that moment to really say that.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like Wolverine got very short shrift in Giant Size, in New 94 and 95. And I think this issue tries to make up for it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no, for sure. I could see that. Letting him go at it and kind of showing off a little more of his stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because, he wasn't really the highlight last issue.
No, he doesn't do a lot in those early issues. I mean, he breaks down a wall every once in a while. He might attack somebody. He got beat up by the Cat Animan. Like,
yeah.
He got pawned by that guy. Like, it was not good.
Man.
So I feel like Wolverine kind of got hosed a ton until this issue. He kind of plays it up a little bit. Right. I don't know if they've officially said that they pop out of his body at this point. I don't remember what issue that it specifically says that they are not part of his gloves.
Oh, right.
But the solid, because I know that they never really said that they weren't or that they were, but I know that Len Wein had said that was his original vision for the character, was that they were gloves that he wore. Okay. But it didn't make a whole lot of sense, because the gloves only go to here, but sometimes those claws are freaking long.
Long, yeah. Like, where would they come from?
Some discussions about Charles Xavier always being the secret villain of this comic, or top 3 douche. Hey, I get it. So yeah, we get to see him lose it on this creature and really do some damage.
Yeah.
Only to find out, of course, that the creature doesn't really die like that.
Right. Does the creature get any? I don't recall the creature really getting any good shots at the team.
No, he does more damage to the mansion, I think.
Okay, yeah, because like even I remember the one scene of Colossus giving him like a good gut punch, to the stomach, and that did some damage too. I mean, he clearly was hurt. I just felt like he didn't really do much in terms of fighting back. I mean, they all kind of, did some things to him, except, even though he still lived through a lot of it.
Chet says 99. It says that the claws are part of his body, issue 99. So we got to be watching for that. Chet I with the, so saith Chet I. Chet I, the Jedi.
99.
So something to look for. I think the next one is my panel of the week, which is a really tiny one, which is rare for me. I usually love splash pages, but like I said, this was a Wolverine issue, and I remembered this panel as a kid. And it combined 2 of my favorite X-Men characters, Nightcrawler's escape and his Bamf and the plume of smoke, and Wolverine and his just diving slash move. Something about the action in this panel. It's a super tiny little panel, but I just absolutely loved this one. And I thought it went well with the Wolverine stuff I was already kind of sharing anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, this was tied into when he was kind of being egged on by Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Nightcrawler was teasing him, that laughing pose, and then Wolverine's like, you son of a... And then he dives at him and then gets called out for putting X-Men in danger, even though clearly Nightcrawler was like, I wasn't really in any danger.
Yeah, like I don't know. To some degree, if I saw Wolverine like charging at me with those blades, I would be like, guys, like like I almost died. Like can we, like Wolverine, dude, like just take it down a notch. I mean, like maybe just come at me with your fists or something. I don't know, like that.
Let's see. Beta Ray says they used it in the Marvel Superheroes role-playing rule book. That's cool. And it does look a little bit like he's getting a hole blasted through his chest, but he ain't.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I think in general, I remember seeing this panel, in classic X-Men, to be like, this is cool. Wolverine's getting after somebody, Nightcrawler's bamfing away. It's too cool. Right. But again, it's a smaller panel. Usually I like the splash pages, but this is a small one.
Yep.
Let's see. And then what do we got next here? Justin, you want to talk about our new the what makes this a big key here?
Yeah, man. So definitely like the panels kind of building up to this, especially where Banshee's having this discussion with Professor X, where he's just like, it's almost time for this the new housekeeping to come, and he's like, well, we don't need no housekeeping, like and just kind of seeing him charge up to the door, imagining her to be like this older woman, and he has some descriptive words, and then seeing his face in that middle panel when he opens the door, just really goofy eyed. I love that. To be able to see Moira here for the first time, and she's just like kind of a badass, like, hey, am I doing, I'm here, like, then, let me do my job now, arms crossed or whatever. Like, I like that. And then I also like, you can still, I thought it was well done how Banshee was drawn on the right, where you could still see his eyes like shocked, like, whoa, okay, like so I thought that was really cool. But yeah, obviously this is a big deal for Moira being her first appearance officially, in an X-Men, in any series, and just knowing, as we were talking about earlier, kind of the larger role that she now plays is kind of her secret, I guess you can say. It's cool to just think. Now I know she didn't play that big of a role overall within this, but she's just being introduced for the first time. So.
Yeah, I love the idea that she's a housekeeper and that they need a housekeeper, but it seems like almost Xavier implying that they needed a babysitter, and that Xavier can't watch over all these new kids, and like they're not really all that young. Like they can definitely cook and clean and take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And then so Banshee says housekeeper. He says nice widder woman, name of Moira McTaggart, probably 80 years old, ugly as sin, with 40 years service in the Scots Guards. And he's saying all this like, it's like, ugh, I really can't stand this. And then he's like running full strength to get to that door.
Yes,
all right, I'm coming. All right. I thought that was a little bit of a fun dichotomy there. And then, like you're saying, yeah, she's got the full boss pose going there.
Big time.
And I got issues. Better buckle up, because I almost picked the next panel as my personal favorite of the week, because I was glad I wasn't drinking anything at the time. I would have done a legit spit take. And Moira busts out a machine gun on the beast. I mean, I feel like I could leave this picture up the whole time, because this is for me hilarity.
Hell yeah, yeah.
The whole X-Men team are fighting this beast. And what does Moira do? I don't know. Firstly, where do they keep this gun?
Yeah, I don't know. Or did she bring it?
Is this her gun that she brought from home?
I think she brought
this gun. They don't explain it, right? All we do is we just met her a second ago. She was just talking to the team. The beast attacks, and then here she comes barreling in. Well, if Sonic Blast will do no good, here's let's see how young Kelpie fares against close-range machine gun fire. And she just lays into this guy. It's amazing. Yeah. Ruben, Moira's strapped. Like, it's hilarious. I thought this was phenomenal. She pulled it out of her prison wallet. Oh my God. It's just, I mean, honestly, it's just amazing. It even reminds me a little bit of what is Dr. Evil's bodyguard, the woman, like, send in the clones. Like, she's just got this machine gun and she's just barreling in there. I can't remember her name. Yeah, Frau Fadisina.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, the next panel is the one that's right there. She runs in with a machine gun. She clearly needs zero assistance, but Banshee jumps in, picks her up, and like runs off to protect her. Moira, me darling, you're a fine figure of a woman and a brave one to boot. But I'm thinking a lot. I'm thinking I like you a lot. But here and now, lassie, you're playing way out of your league. I think the whole thing is hilarious. That she needs rescuing in this moment is complete baloney. Like she's laying down more like wailing on this beast than anybody except maybe a Wolverine at this point.
Yeah, now that I think about it, did Banshee do much in this? I don't know.
He basically pulled her out of the fray. That's about it. She was definitely keistering it. Okay, there you go. That's one way to bring your weapon in, right?
Yeah.
Were you born with a brogue, John? It's quite. Hey, I try my best. She is way hot in that panel, right, Jackson Roy Kirk? I mean, she's straight out for me. She's straight out of a Quentin Tarantino movie, right?
100%, yeah.
Where she's like, was it in Jackie Brown, where there's like women in machine guns and they're in bikinis and they're shooting. Like that's basically what Moira's pulling off right here. It's hilarious. And oh, you know what? I just noticed it says Armory on the door. So maybe the X Mansion has a room full of guns
that they never talk about.
Right? Because whoever uses a gun right now on the X-Men, nobody.
Especially as the mansion grows and they get kids, they get like, like, oh, where's the restroom? Oh, past the Armory to the right.
I'm sorry that I did not notice, everybody, that it says Armory on the door there. So clearly they have a weapons room, which is apparently adjacent to where the Beast attacked, because she's running from the Armory into the living room or whatever and just laying down.
It's right across from the living room then, yeah, because that's where Cyclops came crashing through when they were
she's putting down suppressing fire is what she's really doing there.
Maybe Banshee was trying to up a feel,
I agree. There are zero reasons for this mansion to have assault rifles. The occupants of the building are all dangerous walking weapons, right? Don't use your optic blast, Cyclops. Just go grab a Glock. So for me, I almost picked this, but I just kind of wanted to save it for this moment.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. And for everyone watching, this panel, John, you sent me this like probably Friday or maybe even earlier than that. And you're just like, I need more of this. I need more Moira with machine guns.
Yeah, apparently Xavier gave her the code to that room like right off the bat. Here's a couple of mops so that you can do some house cleaning. And here's the key to the Armory if you need a machine gun. Yeah. She is firing that thing indoor with reckless abandon. Well, I don't know. She's clearly aiming right at the target. I'm giving her props as being like spot on the money.
Yeah.
I feel like she's ready to go. So yeah, this had me laughing quite a ton. Let's see. Sorry, my computer's asking me to reboot right now, and I'm not going to worry about you right now. So go to sleep. Let's see here. All right, let's keep rolling here. It's getting a little late. I don't want to take too long. I wanted to talk about this panel. You and I had spoken about how beautiful this one is. It's the splash page with the obelisk. It's probably the greatest piece of artwork in general. I love the stars in all the dark spots of Xavier's face. You see the obelisk and all the creatures and the evil moments. And across the bottom, I love the way it says, and in that moment, Charles Xavier screams. This is a cool freaking panel.
Oh, big time. And just like, I mean, this kind of going back to talking about how they kind of tell these stories with these panels, the way they do, like the illustration of it, just using the illustration is like so powerful. And seeing like, the creature kind of in his mind, like there's so much emotion behind that. Yeah, like really cool, and just the overall color and everything else is really well done. And I just realized that the lettering in the yellow, I just realized was like a mouth, like the teeth of the creature. I guess I just noticed that too.
Hello, Biggie Shaq. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, it does have a Jim Starlin kind of style to it. I totally agree with that. That's kind of what I dug about it, is it did have this, Adam Warlock-y kind of deal going.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, and the beast kind of burrowing in his brain, like it's eating his brain. It's just a trip.
Big time. Yeah, you feel it.
There's some. If you look now, right around Xavier's neck, there's like a snail, a creepy snail beast.
Oh yeah.
It's got a yellow like shell, and then it's like a brown colored sludgy beast. There's just a ton going on here, and none of it makes any sense.
No, and there's like shattered glass on the other side.
It does not add up to anything. I just think it's a trippy moment.
It'd be a cool tattoo. Just saying.
Mind slugs are dangerous. You got to watch out. Just be ready. This is a buckle up and get ready issue. All right, so I'll run through this, and then we can do a breakdown of little things if you want to go over anything. Here's the statistical information for those of you that want to know more about X-Men 96. First appearance of Moira, we mentioned that. This is technically the debut of Wolverine's Berserker Rage. The first time we really see him go into it and sort of to break it down and discuss it when he's done. First appearance of Stephen Lang. He is one of the Sentinel pioneers. So Biggie Shaq, that makes this a little bit of a key for you. I know you're a big fan. Moira starts as the housekeeper for Xavier at the mansion, but her role is obviously an ever-evolving one. Doctor of genetics, study a mutation. She definitely has a continuing like evolution as her role in these books. But yeah, started as the housekeeper.
Yep.
And I put that in quotes because even I got the sense that Xavier was kind of putting air quotes around that title for her at the time.
Well, which interestingly like kind of plays into what we're talking about with the future, the stuff that we know now. It almost like makes you wonder, like, all right, well, like, did he just know this whole time, or was this the lifetime of Moira that he when he already knew, and he's like, all right, let me bring Moira to the mansion. I'll just introduce her as a housekeeper for now, even though I know she's going to play a much larger role.
Right. TJ says it bothers him that Byrne gets all the love because Cochran was just as good. I agree that in these panels, I will say there's a bunch of beautiful pieces of art in this. Even if the story is a bit of an oddity, the art is pretty gorgeous. When a doctor and geneticist has to take a job as a housekeeper, burn down the patriarchy. That's concerning. It is definitely concerning. So let's look at the cost of this book. A 9.8, if you're able to find one, fair market value of $1,250. And if you look at the multiplier jump, it is more than double. So the multiplier jump between 9.6 and 9.8 from 450 to 1250. That's a beast of a jump. And usually you can get a double, but to get basically a triple out of that shows you that the rarity maybe of this book in that high a grade. Anything from that, let's just say 5.5 to 8.5 range, you're talking just in and around that $100 range for this book currently. And obviously it was spiking a bunch about a year ago. I think it's leveled off a little bit, but it was before a year ago. It was a super cheap key. This was not an expensive book. Like TJ said, filler book all the way. This was not considered anything super valuable. Moira was definitely a lower tier character that people didn't care a ton about.
Right.
But now I think this book seems to have at least come up into range with what is common for some of the non-huge keys in this run.
Yeah. Yeah. To what TJ said earlier on in the stream was that this cover definitely grew on me. I mean, I like it. I mean, I think a big part of it's just the bright yellow, the colors that are going into it. I mean, it's messy for sure, but once you kind of understand the story more and things like that, it definitely pops out a little more, and can some degree become this, not iconic, but certainly recognizable cover now that Moira is this, key.
Definitely. So that is it, friends. That was our little slideshow on all new, all different X-Men 96. I'll stop sharing there. So yeah, a bit of a filler issue, not a waste. I do love the art. You get a little bit of Cyclops dealing with this tragedy, but none of the other mutants really get to deal with the tragedy in the same sort of way.
Right.
And setup of a Sentinel storyline, which is going to be significant in 97 and going forward.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to highlight, though, about this issue before we roll into trivia and other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, just I do like that they dropped that little hint of Lang, right towards the middle there, and then from that point on, while it is a random plot, it is exciting, and at least with the action, you get to see more of the abilities of what the X-Men can do, and again, kind of putting your mind into that new reader mindset, for the first time kind of perspective. It definitely, it is important. It's important to kind of grow the characters a little more and go from there. I do wish, or I mean, I don't recall exactly for these next couple issues coming up, but I do wish that you see a little bit more mourning going on,
Sure.
From Thunderbird, but I don't think you do too much.
Hello, Lost in Comics. Thanks for coming by, Chris or Oscar or both or whomever. Thanks for hanging with us. Yeah, I think that you're right. The mourning, the psychological effects of what happened in '95 is a hopefully an ongoing thing. But again, I don't remember how much they utilize that in the future issues for sure.
Right.
Yeah, Beta Ray is playing it coy about trivia, but it's coming up here in a second. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got 4 trivia questions about our previous discussion when we had Chet on to discuss issue 95. I got 2, he's got 2. We're looking for the first 2 correct answers on each one, which means copy and paste can be your friend. If you see the correct answer pop and you feel a little late, you can copy, paste, and drop that and be the second person in and keep yourselves on the scoreboard. Our man, I Got Issues, came on strong last time and made a huge difference in the score gap, big time. So I know that Chet is back, and Chet is hoping to make up some ground too, because he was in second place pretty solidly before this.
Yeah. He kind of took that week off as he was our guest, so
definitely
kind of gave some chance for other people.
Hello, Perry. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it, big guy. And he's got a bunch of stuff coming in October. For those of you liking Perry's reaction videos, he's doing a Halloween-related movie every day in October. So definitely want to check it out. If you like watching his reaction videos, you'll be ready. Need to get a wrench ready. Slam him down. Shut him down. All right. So do you want to go first or second?
Sure. I'll go first.
Okay.
This first one's pretty easy. What was the important onomatopoeia phrase that the last issue introduced? What was that infamous, now famous onomatopoeia or term, the sound effect that was introduced in last issue that is well used today?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And, oh, Beta Ray coming in third.
Oof. I was going to say, yeah.
That's the running. So I see Jackson Roy Kirk first, and I see I Got Issues second.
I think Issues had his autocorrect mess him up there. Because I see banned first.
You did have banned. Yep.
Yeah.
Did, yep.
Autocorrect strikes again.
But I still get a point for you, Issues. So, but the raffle ticket for that one goes Jackson Roy Kirk.
Yep.
Nailing it. It was not Snicked. No, Snicked was beforehand. We had Snicked. God, was it issue 94 that had Snicked?
I
thought 94 was Snicked and 95 was Bamf.
Okay.
Or was it Giant Size was Snicked?
It might have been Giant Size.
It might have been Giant Size.
Yeah, I think it was Giant Size.
I was off. I've already forgotten. That's how quickly it goes out of my mind.
We got to go back to the beginning, John. Let's go.
Oh, man, I got to start all over. Yeah, start all over. Restart. My first question is about the slideshow last time. Who was the MVP that I picked for last week's issue? Who did I choose as that most valuable team player from our previous slide? Name that X-Man.
Ooh. Looks like Issues.
Who's it gonna be? Coming on strong. So far, I've got one correct answer. I just need someone to repeat it. It was not Nightcrawler. It's not Nightcrawler. Professor X. It's never going to be Professor X. Come on.
It's never.
Not. I got one correct answer, though. Follow-up person is Beta Ray Jim on my computer. I'm going to double check. Colossus. And then, Biggie Shaq. So close. Yep. But the winner was I Got Issues top, and he is now tied for first place. But then Beta Ray gets 1 point, so he gets one step ahead on the overall scorecard.
That's good.
1 point difference between the two of them. I picked Colossus. Dude fell out of an airplane, swan dived right into the earth, and walked away waving, saying, "What took you guys so long?" That's a boss right there. He also took all the bullets and shielded everybody, and just a boss, straight up and down. So that means the I Got Issues got the raffle ticket for that question, and we're on to question number 3.
Yeah, so this kind of ties in very closely to kind of what you were talking about. But my question is, who was the first X-Men to reach the ground first when they're falling from the sky in the beginning of the issue, from last issue? Kind of a swan dive. Oh. There you go. Yeah.
Issues again.
Issues again.
Issues on fire, man. Well, let's see who's right behind him. And Beta Ray. I got Beta Ray. Do you got Beta Ray?
Yeah, Beta.
So tied 14-14 overall scorecard. Leader of the pack.
Nice.
Man. Woo.
That was like one of my favorite things.
Ticket for Issues. Did he get all 3 of them today? No, Jackson Roy Kirk got one of them.
Yeah, Roy Kirk.
Okay, so Jackson Kirk got one, and Issues got 2 raffle tickets in. Remember, these raffle tickets are for an omnibus, people. We're going to pull a name for a winner for an Omnibus Volume 2 at some point when we get deep into this thing. Why do I keep forgetting to watch last week's episode, says Jackson Roy Kirk. Well, don't worry. This next one is a little bit easier. You just need to have read the issue from last time, or at least paid attention when we were talking about it. When they're starting this issue off, all of the heroes are falling out of a plane, and they have to figure out how they're going to survive this fall to the earth. Storm carries 2 X-Men to the ground herself. Who are they? I was just impressed. Nobody gives her credit. She doesn't have super strength. She legit carries 2 grown men to the ground. Now, admittedly, she can maybe buck the wind and make them a little lighter, but that's still no small feat.
Nope.
Who are the 2 men, because there's no really other women on this team, that she carries to the ground? Ooh, that was fast. Issues and Jackson Roy Kirk.
Yep.
Is that who you got?
Yep.
All right. Issues with another raffle ticket. Taking the lead. Jackson Roy Kirk coming on strong in 3rd place in the overall run. Boom. Wolverine and Nightcrawler, 2 of my favorite X-Men, although this whole team, I mean, it's just all of them. Let's just be honest. No, Cyclops is the one who free falls for the longest. He swears nobody needs to help him. Somebody just comes back and gets him at the end. He's like hang gliding, hoping that Banshee comes back and just snags him right before he splats.
It was very close. He started to sweat a little bit. Yeah,
there was some good sweat. Despite the fact that his mask basically covers his whole face and head. There was
he had a lot of sweat, actually. Yeah, no, I remember that one panel.
Considering it's really just this, right?
Right.
So that's it for today. 4 trivia questions down. Some fun growth on this card. We got first place Issues at 16, second place Beta Ray at 14, and then we got Jackson Roy Kirk, and behind him Laith Lewis, who I didn't see in the chat tonight. Both of them trying to break their way into the double digits. So could be exciting to see where the overall points continue to go.
Yep.
Think about remember this issue tonight, what we talked about, maybe some of the stuff behind us or what we're wearing, because that might come up in our trivia questions next week. We're going to be back on the KnowGood Comics channel for our odd number 97. Hopefully get to watch some good old villain monologuing from that Dr. Lang. See if he shines yellow as he screams at his underlings again. So I will definitely check in with you, Chet, when we get off here. Absolutely. I will never be a guest. I cannot give any ground. But that's a great point. If you want a guest like Chet did or like Beta Ray Jim did, if there's an issue, I know we've got Jeffrey Comic-Con's got an issue coming up that he wants to do. I think it's 109. I know that we got issue 101 has been booked. So we got a few issues that are set that are coming up. But between now, 97, and 101, we're wide open. So there's some good stuff in there. Of course, the classic issue 100 showdown between new and old team. You can definitely have it if you legit feel like giving it up. Sorry, Chet said 109 is his. I forgot. 109 is Chet's. He wants it.
Yeah, issues 100. We could throw it up.
Sure. So, yeah, drop us a line on Instagram if you want to join. If there's an issue that you're like, I want to reread that one, I want to hang out. So there you go. Issues has got issue 100, new team versus old team showdown.
Sounds good.
He is in, and Jackson Roy Kirk is like, yes, now I can get my place and I can come back and get up there and catch Beta Ray Jim. And Chet says, whenever you want him back, heck yeah, we're going to definitely have Chet back a few times for sure.
Oh, definitely.
If you don't know KnowGood Comics, I put the link to his channel down below. And he does these great interviews on the weekend where he's talking with community members. He just had Hoosier Comics on the other day. What do you got coming up? Who's the guest this coming weekend?
So this coming weekend is Jen, the life. How do I say her name again? Life of a Geeky Mind. Yes, life with a Geeky Mind. I think it's her handle. You know what I'm talking about from
yes.
Canada. Yeah, she's great. So she's going to be my guest for this Saturday, and looking forward to that. Yeah.
Anything else coming up? Any videos or any unboxings? I know you do a lot of unboxings. You get some mystery boxes.
Yeah, I have something here from Unknown Comics that I have to open up, and maybe I'll record that, or maybe I'll go live later this week. Who knows? But I got some goodies, so maybe I'll do something like that. What about you?
Well, we got book club tomorrow. I believe we're on the White Whale Comics YouTube channel. Charlie's gonna slam doors as she runs through. We're gonna be talking about I got a ton of books today. It was a big Marvel day for me. My LCS let me grab my books today so I can read them all. But I got, of course, Daredevil. I'm gonna talk Venom. I've been enjoying the JJ Spider-Man, and they got a new issue of that. Of course, DC's Last God. I got that. There's a new Boom Studios issue #1, new Kanto storyline book, and of course. How do you not talk about the Ten of Swords creation? So this was a huge book, both in importance and in weight. This is a very big book.
Did you get Stillwater? Did you check that out yet?
I did not. I missed. That was the new Zdarsky one, right?
Yeah, that was something I wanted to get. I was curious if you were going to pick that up or not.
I'd heard some mixed reviews, but I didn't get a chance to grab it last week. And I thought, you know what? If I didn't hear anything really huge, great, I was going to keep going. And I heard mixed, so I'm just going to keep going. But Boom Studios, new issue #1. So we'll try that one. So you can count on some breakdowns of that. Boom Studios #1, which... Sorry, I keep blanking on the name, and I got the Virgin cover, so it doesn't have the title on the front. I think it's about witches, so it's got like a witchy, the unkindness of ravens, and it has something to do with Salem and the witches of Salem. Cool. We will definitely discuss that a bunch. I think Alec is willing to grab the new Ten of Swords, and I think Alec was going to grab that new Immortal She-Hulk #1, a one-off. We might talk about that one as well. Nice. So I didn't grab that one, but I'm curious to hear what in the end, I went with Kanto instead of that one. I was like, I'm not getting 7 books. I'm just going to get 6.
Draw the line somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then Saturday night, I'm back with Bearded Comic Bro talking time travel movies. We're going to finish it off. Nice. Did he just, yeah, I got to read the book, man. It's not X-Men 96. Breathe, Chet. Breathe. Look at him. He's dying.
I feel faint. We got to check on him later.
I like to touch my books. So we like to touch our books around here. All right. You guys have a great night. We really appreciate it. See you back next week on the KnowGood Comics channel for issue 97.
Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.